Plagiarism. This is Nikita Khandelwal again here with you all, and I heartily welcome you all on behalf of Research Foundation of India Faculty Development Program on Research Paper Writing, which is organized by BPIT School of Business Administration. So, the topic of our today's session is understanding the ethical issue and He has initiated career as an assistant finance manager in a private sector organization overcome disruption, tried to implement a 360-degree feedback system. This helped the student to freely communicate with their seniors and higher authorities. Sir has developed and implemented a teaching pedagogy that catered to the social, academic, and cognitive development of youth. He delivered and attended several MDP programs and received many awards for his contribution to education. Excellence from Shri Agrasen Club awarded by Mayor of Indore, Shrikant Moge, on November 2, 2014 in Indore. Sir has felicitated for PhD at PIMR International Conference on January 30 in 2015 and felicitated at for extraordinary contribution in academics by Mrs. Sumitra Mahajan, a former Speaker Lok Sabha, India, in the presence of Sri Anil Shastri, former Union Minister, on May 21, 2023. Sir is also a member of Executive Member of Research Foundation of India Indore Chapter, member of Curricular Economy Club, Boston, United States of America, life member Youth Hostel of India, and President at Research Foundation of India Chapter. If we talk about in his area of
Ma'am,
interest, Sir
thank
has
you, thank you,
vast
ma'am. Thank you.
interest in
I think we
finance
should stop.
research paper.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Sir, now the food paste is
Thank
yours.
you for elaborating. It's not required, ma'am, all of these things. Thank you once again so much, Nikita, Khandala, ma'am.
You're welcome.
by your permission, may I start now?
Yes, sir, sure.
Sure. Thank you so much once again to the team of RFI. A special thank to Ajay Jain sir, Saurabh Jain sir, Show Gupta sir, and all the members of RFI. And definitely, we all are contributing a lot towards the development and mentoring in the research, particularly. And a special thank to all the participants who have taken time for this particular workshop. So this for the these 2 days, that is today and tomorrow, I will be with you. So for today's session, I will be discussing upon the ethical issues and plagiarism. I hope my PPT is viewable to all of you. Anyone please respond?
Yes, sir, it's
Yes, it's
completely
visible.
viewable.
Table of content, you can see the
Yes,
second
sir.
one. Okay. Technology, I always say this, whenever it is required
Yes,
most, it
sir.
always fails. So past 1 hour, I was struggling to open my PPT. There is some problem with the keyboard due to this moisture. So it was automatically just taking up certain commands. Finally, somehow I tried to manage. Then it was not, my means web page was not being connected. So finally, I dropped that out. And presently, I am taking help of my daughter's laptop. Third technological problem, just as soon the session was to be started, there was the power cut. Anyhow, it always been there. So these are the some of the contents we are going to discuss in the today's session. So what plagiarism is all about and what are the steps to be followed upon. So if we talk about the steps in writing a research paper, so these are the some of the basic steps I hope you have gone through in the previous sessions. So first of all, searching about the specific topic, selecting the topic, and then start working on the various steps towards writing a research paper. For writing a research paper, we need to go through the various scholarly articles, and then we need to select few of them, and then we used to generally copy those articles in our own research paper without providing the credit to an source. It becomes a part of the plagiarism. So we have selected the scholarly articles, we have developed our literature review, and then finally we move towards the plagiarism. So plagiarism is something like copying other ideas and presenting those ideas in our own work, pretending that whatever is been done, it is been as per our own work. But that is wrong. You simply memorize, and the same quote I always used to talk upon, just like you and your friend just sitting next to you or back to you in the final exam, and you have you have helped him or her to copy the material. Can you please put off someone whose mic is on? Okay, thank you. So the fellow who was sitting just behind or above, behind or before, secure more marks as compared to you. Why? The content was same. Whatever you have written, the same was been transferred to that person. Ultimately, that person has applied his own brain, and that's why that person scores more better marks than you, and that comes under the category of plagiarism. So, see, if we copy someone ideas and present in our own work without providing the credit to that person, is unethical. So, what does it involve? It involves violating copyright laws. Writers who plagiarize committed serious legal and ethical violations in nowadays. We will discuss more in the later part of the slides. But plagiarism is now being considered as a ethical violation, and the serious steps can be taken upon. Particularly when we talk about the international journals, they are very, very rigid and strict about it. If the plagiarized content is above the limit prescribed by them, then they are going to ban the author. First of all, ban the paper. If it is been repeated, then they are going to ban the author. And this information has been circulated to the various journals or publishers so that this author may not get the opportunity to get the papers published. Very recently, just I would like to share, just SSRN is a site where we can republish our papers. It is a social communal site where all of your publications are being distributed at free of cost. I have submitted recently 2 papers published in Scopus Journal, and out of these two, one paper is still on hold. I've just gone through that. So there were some issues related to the copyright was coming upon. Just like it was a joint paper, so they expect that my joint author, a statement should be provided from him so that he is not having any objection regarding the publication of this paper on this site. So see how these sites they are taking care. It is only meant for the communal development, but then too they are asking for the permission of the co-author. Although I am the first author, but still I need to provide that declaration. So we can say that plagiarism is an act of presenting another's work and idea in our own. You can look over that clip. If you cut and paste it from the web, he said that you are plagiarized. This is normally what we are doing. We are copying the content from the website and just pasting in our own work. We are just copying and using it out. So another guy says that I don't cut and paste it. I printed, then I typed it. And is it that plagiarism? I mean, that is as I typed that article, so it should not contain under the category of plagiarism. But definitely it is. Now, suppose this is the same clip art. This is not developed by myself. I have taken this clip from somewhere else. To use this clip, I need to provide the source of it. So see, here I have provided the source. That is online clip art. Multiple sources are there. So I have not exactly defined the source, but yes, it has been taken from the online resource. So this is how we can protect the plagiarism. Let us go through some few more definitions. So plagiarism is an unacknowledged use of another person's work as it is as pretend to be our own work. It's simply copying and pasting the work of some another person. This comes under the category of plagiarism. Plagiarism involves copying of phrases. Now, what does it include? It is defined in it. Number one, that is the copying of phrases, clauses, sentences, paragraphs, or longer extracts from the published or even unpublished work. So some of the work may be as the form of working paper. They are still not been published, but somehow you come to know about that articles and you use it without the approval of the author comes under the category of plagiarism, including the work from internet and without acknowledging the source. So this is how the plagiarism is been defined. According to Webmaster Dictionary, this says plagiarize means to steal and pass off the ideas of words of another in our own way, in our own means. To use another's work without crediting the source. So without providing the source, you should not use it. To commit literary theft, just like you have simply catch over some another's work and you have completely presented that work in as it is of your own. That comes under the category of plagiarism. To present a new and original and an idea or product derived from an existing source. A question may
So
come.
sorry for disturbing you. Sir, your slide is not changing.
Okay. More definitions page you can't see it.
Your slide is not changing.
Can you see this page
Now
now?
it is
More
visible.
definitions?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So what is actually been there? Simply you have just taken any of the ideas, any of the work which belongs to another person without providing a credit to that source comes under the category of plagiarism. In some cases, and this is I have if I can copy, I can use this image because it is not a copyrighted product or work, but then too I have provided the source of this information, that is the wave break media and something like that .com. So crediting the source, you can overcome the problem of plagiarism. But again, the same things arise that whole of the content I copy and paste and publish it to my name, and at the end of the paper, if I provide the credit to that original source, it comes under the category of plagiarism. So there are the many things to come upon where we can try to overcome or to the plagiarism. What are the objectives of it? So as per the words of UGC, we must learn to create awareness about responsible conduct of research. Nowadays, we are focusing upon the originality of the research. Once the web resources are available, it is very easy to access tons of information from the various web resources. Earlier, when we were not having such type of facilities, there were hardly one or two journal articles or maybe very few theses was available where we can physically visit and take the content from it. And definitely it was been reproduced in by your own words. So at that time, the level of plagiarism was very, very low. But with the development of the online tools and resources, it has been increased considerably. So objective is to create awareness about to the responsible conduct of research, thesis, dissertations, and the promotion of academic integrity and prevention of misconduct, including plagiarism in academic writing about for all. So ultimate objective is simply to make a control to make our academic community better and more responsible. Second objective is to establish institutional mechanism through education and training to facilitate responsible people who are engaged in the work of research, thesis writing, dissertations, and etc. So ultimately, the institutions are also responsible to reduce the level of plagiarism. Just like this responsibility is evenly transferred to the universities, particularly all government universities. We need to get the certificate of plagiarism from the library department. They will go through the plagiarism software and they will provide the certificate that is the level of plagiarism which has been identified by that software. To develop system, to detect plagiarism, and to set up mechanics to prevent plagiarism and punish a student or the faculty if it has been found so. So it should be within limit. And if it is above limit, they should be punished. Punished may not be in the financial matter, but yes, their paper should maybe not be accepted. They may be asked to rewrite the paper. They may ask to change the content. They may be asked to take the approval from the original source or the author, and then only the paper must be accepted. Which further includes researcher, staff, and the committee of the act as a plagiarism. So these are the few objectives of regarding the plagiarism. Once again, questions comes upon that why does people plagiarize? And the very simple answer to it, that is we are not aware. Due to lack of awareness, we have copied the material and presented in our own words. Now these things, once as we belongs to the part of the university system or to the colleges, the things must be passed over to the juniors, maybe higher secondary students, high school students, and maybe even lower than that, so that they should have a clear mindset whenever they proceed for the higher education. So there are the few reasons, and amongst them, the first one is the lack of awareness. We do not know that we are copying the material and actually we are committing a crime. Some of the time it happens that due to the limitation of time factor, we try to copy the material and get it completed so that it must be presented. Just for an example, you are having a session to be conducted after 1 hour and you are already busy in various activities. So ultimately, you does not have any other objective to simply copy the material and to submit and present in your own name. The third reason is the laziness. Why we should work? Because it is a tedious process. We need to identify the sources. Then we need to read out the sentences. So it is a time consuming process. Some of the times due to laziness, we committed such type of crime. I'm not using the word error, I'm using the word crime because it is considered like that only as an academic community. Then plagiarism also arises due to lack of subject knowledge. Once we are not aware of much of the things, in that case, we feel comfortable to copy some another person's material and just present in our own words is also the one of the principal reason of plagiarism. There are certain writing issues. What to write, how to write, what should be the flow. Some of the things we doesn't know. In that case, again, the plagiarism does exist. Copying the material is one of the easiest source. I have gone through the various, I belongs to the management and the commerce fraternity. So I have gone through the various authors' book. They have written wonderful books. And whenever you just go through some national level authors, you will exactly find the same quotes, same paragraph, same questions in his or her book. That is in the local author's book. And that is 100% plagiarized. Might be possible that the original publisher not aware about it, or some of the times due to ignorance also, they do not take the action against it. So copying the material is one of the easiest source rather than developing the material in our own words. Sometimes this may happen due to the lack of guides control. Our mentor, our guide, they do not have time, and that's why they say, okay, you develop your work and we will approve it. So whatever we do, we generally used to copy the content because we are now sure that our work will be approved by the guide or the mentor, and that's why we copy it and then we present in our own words. We have a system of developing the project work in MBA program. And almost 100% of the reports which have been submitted by the students are plagiarized. Some of them are so good, so kind enough, they even do not take pain to change the name of the external or the name of the student, and that report has been presented in the same format as from where they have copied that report. And when we are returning it back, they argues particularly that doesn't matter, you simply cut and write your name and you submit it. So here there is a lack of guides control. If these things happens, you better return it back, ask for the necessary correction, and make the required changes as per the standard policies. So these are the basic few reasons. That's why we plagiarize. Kinds of plagiarism. There are many other types also, but I have included only major of them, few of them. The first one is the global plagiarism. It is presenting the entire work by someone else in our own name is known as the global plagiarism. There was a 5 pages notes prepared by one of the student and it is been copied and distributed amongst all of the students. Then it comes under the category of global plagiarism. Paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means rephrasing of the sentences. Yes, we need to do this is the one of the optimum tool to control the plagiarism, but still it is expected that you should not only paraphrase them, but it should be written in your own words. I will show in one of the slides how the paraphrasing has been done and how much it has been being a part of the plagiarized content. So yes, you can paraphrase, but it should be rewritten in your own thoughts and your words. Then it is appropriate. That is verbatim plagiarism, directly copying a passage of text without citing the source. Now, suppose if I have taken this source, this information, and I am pretending to present in my own words, that comes under the capacity of plagiarism. So what is required? I must provide the credit. And you can see at the end of the slide, I have given the source. It is skiber.com plagiarism and exact source and on the date where I have accessed it. So verbatim plagiarism. Then mosaic plagiarism. Combining text and idea from different sources without citing. I have taken some idea from first research paper, few ideas from second research paper, third idea from some another expert, and I've combined and presented in my own word or name. But if those credits are not given, then it comes under the category of plagiarism.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir. I have a
Yeah.
question.
Yes.
Recently, I have a guide told me the way you said that you should write some review article or paper. You can write like which is apart from my PhD topic, which was non-indexed magazine in which I was about to publish my writing. So, what is the exact method of referencing, or do I have to cite the articles online, or just I can write the reference? What is
Ma'am,
the exact method for
there are
citation or for giving the means what is the exact method for citation?
once when we're talking about in-text work that is within your research paper, then it is to be
Yes.
considered as a citation. There are different modes of citing your paper. First thing that I have already told,
Okay.
you cannot copy 100% of the text as which has been
I
provided.
means I used the paraphrasing tool, and some of words are of my thoughts. Some of the portion of my
Still,
paper was.
still it comes under the category of plagiarism, because what
Yes, sir.
exactly
I
we are
faced
doing.
the problem which you have explained in the beginning. I faced when I submitted my article for the first time. They just commented that please minimize the level of plagiarism. Actually, I was not knowing that what is the exact way to write. That is why that thing happened.
Ma'am, I would like to suggest that still I assume that human brain is much, much better than any other AI softwares or tools. So what
Yes, sir.
paraphrasing is doing, it is simply rephrasing few of the words.
Yes,
So
sir.
at some of the time, or I should say most of the time, the actual meaning of the sentence is been changed. Rather than rephrasing, it's better
Yes.
you rewrite in your own words. Otherwise,
Okay, sir.
paraphrasing is a time-consuming exercise. Then exactly
Yes,
you
sir.
will not going to communicate what is been expected. So it's better to rephrase and write in our own words. That is much
So
easier.
my question is, I mentioned all the references properly in the article also, and in the end also in the reference portion. Then also they have considered some of the portion under the plagiarism. Why? I mean, I want to know the reason.
The same what I am answering you. You are paraphrased, but still that has been checked and taken care by the software where they have run this plagiarism software,
Yes,
anti-plagiarism software. Still,
Turnitin.
still
Yes,
that has been detected as a part of a plagiarism. Once you
huh.
would have rewritten those sentences in your own word, the one
Yes,
of the best thing what you can do normally, you can just change the form of the verb. If it is in the present, you generally research paper should basically in the form of past tense only. So you can just
hmm.
change the form, you can change the verb, you can change the
Okay,
phrase, and in that way
okay,
should be come in the form of your own words.
okay,
I will show you one or two examples in the later slide. So it will be providing you an idea. But my experience is
okay.
there are many paraphrasing tools, but still
Yeah,
you will not satisfy by using those tools.
Sir, with this context,
okay,
I
sir.
want to ask you a question if you can permit me for the same.
If you need to ask now, or we can discuss at the end of the
Sir,
presentation.
sir, just a small question, sir.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm working on my PhD thesis. So it
Yes.
is mandatory under the UGC guideline that you are going to submit two articles with your guide on the same research topic in either UGC care listed journal or the peer review journal. So,
Yes.
sir, when we are like going to do the thesis work, in that the first when we are basically doing the empirical work, in
Yes.
that the first chapter will be the introduction one. So
Yes.
when we are dealing with the introduction, sir, उसमें भी हमें paraphrase करके ही सब लिखना पड़ेगा क्या about the topic?
I'm once again saying do not paraphrase those sentences. It will
Okay.
definitely come under the sea. What is actually happening, particularly when we talk about the overseas, they have very definite softwares. They are having a huge database. They catch, actually, there is a pattern of catching the plagiarism. Normally, there is a trend that out of 10 words, if 7 are similar, that comes under the plagiarism level. It
Okay.
will be taken care by that software that your work has been plagiarized. I will show you in the later slides.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
once we are rewriting, once we are rephrasing in our own way, once we are changing the grammar, so at least it will rephrase and it will not be detected as a part of it. This is the first and foremost thing you need to remember. Second thing, if you are developing a paper, my suggestion, first of all, you develop a literature review, papers on literature review. That is the review papers, 1 or 2 review papers, and then you move to the introduction chapter. It will be help you a lot. It will provide it is a brainstorming for your work. This is my suggestion. Ultimately, we need to go through the guidance of the guide only. We can't bypass that.
Sir, can I ask a small question?
Yes,
Like,
ma'am.
if we are citing one paper at many places in a research paper, so
Yeah.
we are giving reference in the end also at the end of the article inside text inside citation. If supposing we are using that information, say at 5 or 6 places, every time we have to do inside in text citation.
Yes. That is required. There are many ways. Just like in some cases, you can simply provide a number. And when there is a no, it is not in the alphabetical order. Your referencing is not in the alphabetical order, but it is in the chronological order. The information came first, it will be represented in the form of reference first, irrespective of alphabetical order. So in that case, you use the numerical numbers, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For example, 5 number reference is been quoted 10 times. So everywhere it will be quoted as 5. But if you are using the name, so in that case, name and publication here will repeat it many times, as and where it is been used.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So there is no such issues, but it should be presented. And second thing, once again, it should be in your own phrases, in your own words. Don't exactly cut. There are few softwares available, you can run over them, but they are free softwares. So as such, there is no guarantee of the originality and the security of your data. That is equally important. So may I continue with the plagiarism types? So next one is the self-plagiarism. Now, this may be answer to few of you. Just like reusing pages and ideas which were previously used in our earlier paper. I developed last time on paper, and those ideas I reuse in my work, and I am not sourcing it because I know that this is my own work. But as such, that work has been published. So it comes under the category because you need to provide source as a source for your work also. Means you need to provide the citation to your own work. Otherwise, it will be come under the category of plagiarism. So it doesn't matter. I am Agrawal Deepak. I am following a pattern like Agrawal, comma, and 2023. So that should be presented. And at the time of reference, I must provide the complete details about that publication. Otherwise, it will be considered as the self-plagiarism. Then citation is also equally important. If you are not following the standards provided to cite the work, that also comes under the category of plagiarism. Now, once again, if you are having a small few sentences, maybe 1 or 2 sentences, and you want to copy it down as it is, then what we used to do, we used to put in the inverted comma. We used to quote those sentences. But that is very popular in poetic and other things, artistic work. But if you are copying the work of the many of the authors, and every work you have quoted, that again comes under the category of plagiarism. A few quotations are permitted, but not many. So that is which should be taken care. Rather than quoting them, we should rephrase them in our own words. Just like definitions are always quoted, some standard words are being quoted, the sentences said by some personalities, they are always quoted because we can't change those sentences. So extension to it, uh, basic description about it. When we talk about the global plagiarism, it is copying an entire work and submitting it as it our own work, and we find an online content and submit as your own work. So such type of plagiarism, global plagiarisms, lead to severe penalties. This I've already told that your work may be banned, your name may be banned, or any other type of submissions may be banned. Paraphrasing, we are already discussing. We have already discussed many of the things that simply rephrasing the sentences itself is not sufficient. It should come in the thought of your words. Once again, I repeat, out of every 10 words, if at least there should be 5 to 6 words of your own. Otherwise, the software will be considered as a part of paraphrasing. All the standard softwares are very rigid about it. If you are using some free tools, they may having a limitation of 5 continuous words. Okay. Even if you translate a piece of text
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
let me finish our first, man. Otherwise, we will be sticking on it. You please note down your queries and we will discuss at the end of the presentation.
Right, sir, right.
Please. You need to correctly cite the original source. I've already discussed the translation without sources is still plagiarism. Now, I've simply translated something which was been written in Hindi or any other language and presented in English. So that also comes under the category of plagiarism. So we need to provide the original source. It may be any of the books, text, whatever you have taken care. You see, this is the reference I am presenting. Wherever I am using some source, I am presenting it. These are the source where I have taken the contents. Next. Now, this is an example. There is a cartoon over here. What I means, all the facts are from a student submitting some facts and figures to her teacher, to his teacher, and it has been teacher is saying that you have copied the material. He says, I have copied everything straight from the internet, and that's why the all facts are correct, and it doesn't come under the category of plagiarism. So the answer to this point is yes. These are the facts. You cannot change, but you need to provide the source of information. Second thing, the reliability of the internet sources is not much. Now, I'm not getting a source of this information. Fine. So what I have declared here, images may be subject to copyright. I have given the declaration. So here I'm protecting this point, this clip in the form that it may be copyright, but is it freely available on the website? So that's why we have used it. So you can take one example. This is a sentence, some sentence taken upon, and you see there is no citation. This is exactly copied from somewhere and quoted over here. So it comes under the category of plagiarism. Now, once we cite it out, there are various modes of citing. This is the very common one. I hope you have gone through in the previous day's presentation. So this is the source, chronon, that is surname, comma, 1995. There is a specific pattern of quoting the citations. And from page number 70, this quote has been taken. So now we have cited. That means we are declaring that it is the material taken from some another source, and the detail about this source will be in the form of referencing. So here you can use this content, but once again, not exactly. I assume that these sentences are written by the author in their own words. Otherwise, exact copying of this sentence or maybe sentences comes under the category of plagiarism, even you are quoting the reference. If you go through this content, it will provide you 100% plagiarized work if it is not rephrased. So mentioning of the citation is very, very required. If you are not eager to mention the citation, it's better you remove those sentences from your work. You are not authorized.
I don't
Next, please. Now, what I did, this is the same example. The sentence without citation, I have quoted over here. I have run a software. That software is identified. You can see it on the screen. It declared it is 100% plagiarized content, 0% unique. What mistake I have committed? I have exactly copied the material from some source. They found two sources. This software is identified. This is the plagiarized content, and this is the source. See, similarity is 50%, and some another source, the similarity is again 50%. This was the source from where this material was copied. So, do you understand? By
Yes, sir.
to the software, anti-plagiarism softwares, you can identify the level of plagiarism. But once again,
Can you
they are.
please
Yeah, ma'am. Can you repeat?
Sir, can you please provide the software or tool to checking the plagiarism?
I will provide you. It
Okay.
has been in my presentations.
Okay.
Once again, there are very free softwares are available, but authenticity and the security of your data is the question mark. If you have faith on yourself, you can go through those softwares. Otherwise, it may be used, reused, it depends. But if you use just like university recommended, UGC recommended softwares or Urkund or anything else, so there is a limitation. Because once you run your data on such type of softwares, it will be stored in the database. And whenever second time, if you run your own data, the whole of your thesis or writings will be 100% plagiarized as per the software. So what is required? In that case, you need to send a request mail to the administrator to remove that data from that software. If it has been done second time, it will be considered as a fresh data. And if not so, it will be going to provide you 100% copyright because it is already stored in the database. So in that case, in such type of cases, we normally avoid. Once we are ready with our work, we are having a faith that okay, now we are at the submission stage. In that case, we can we can use such type of softwares. If you are a part of the university system, they have a strong administrator, and you can request that those administrator to remove that data so that it will provide you the better information. So once again, just see, this was there was a two sentences which I copied and represented. Even I have given the source and my software which I run upon, and it declares that it is 100% plagiarized content. Sorry. Next, verbatim plagiarism, that is copy and paste into own document without attribution. If the structure or the majority of the words are same as it is in the original, then it comes under the verbatim plagiarism. Even if you delete or change couple of words, in case to use author's exact word, in that comes under this category. And in case if you want to use the author's exact word, then we need to quote in the form of original source. So what I am doing, suppose this is my statement, and if I need to copy and use to somewhere else, so what I did, I just replaced few of the words by running some grammar tools. 3-4 words I have replaced. So that will be again considered as the part of the verbatim plagiarism. If you want to exactly use those words, then it should always be quoted. I've already explained, your whole of the paper or the work should not be 100% with the quotations. No, that is wrong. There are hardly few sentence words statements which must come under this category. Next is incorrect citing. Again, the same thing. If you are not providing the actual source of information, that comes under this category of the plagiarism. So the proper reference or bibliography list must to be prepared at the end of your paper, describing the complete source of information. And only in that case you can protect your work. Another thing, whenever we try to run the softwares, plagiarism softwares, just avoid those referencing and the bibliographies because they are already been presented in that format. So your reference will come under 100% plagiarism category. So that should be avoided while running any of the tools because that is the source you need to provide. So it will be definitely some copied material only. Na? Whatever the contents I have published in my one of the paper, you need to carry those papers. So that is not a part of plagiarism. Just one source I have quoted one example in the API style. This is the authors, these are the authors, this is a year of publication, and here is the statement they want to provide. This is one of the correct source of providing the citation. Okay, let me move to the next category. That is the self-plagiarism. Once again, cloning our own work. I've already quoted that I have copied my own work, but I have not given credit to that publication. Then it comes under the category of self-plagiarism. I have written a paper on IPO pricing, suppose, for example, on mutual fund. And those references I taken over in my another work. Once this will be learned by the softwares or the anti-plagiarism tools, it will be a plagiarism tools, it will be identified. So I need to provide the references of my own work. Even if it is unpresented, not published, then also you need to provide. But what are the things does not comes under this category are submissions of readily available information such as the phone book, yearbook, atlas, etc. These are the free from plagiarism. Any type of information which has been publicly available and can be they authorized to reproduce those information comes under the category of anti-plagiarism, whether they are not plagiarized. Like atlas or the yearbook. You need to copy that material from there itself. You cannot modify them. So that is against the plagiarism policy. Work published by the government, any economic survey, Census of India also comes under the anti-plagiarism policy. That means you can carry from the Department of Statistics, Government of India, Ministry, various ministries, all corporations, they publish the statements. You can copy that material in the same format, but still please provide the source of information. Just like www.rbi.gov.in or maybe Department of Ministry of Commerce, so www.ministryofcommerce.xxxx. That source at least must be provided.
Sir, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
But what in case of internet?
Which has been
But what
anything which has been approved by, just like you can take the reports from World Bank.
Okay.
That has been freely available. They are freely published. Whereas you need not to pay something to that. When you need not get the approval from those authorities, that comes under the free category. But still the same thing, please provide a source.
Yes.
At least the credit must be given to that original source. Okay, we have taken from WTO or maybe IMF or any other agency. Okay. And the last sentence already states that anything which comes under the public domain. So publicly available information can be copied. A source is expected. If not so, it will be considered. And any question?
A small question.
Sir, newspaper cuttings are okay. Newspaper publications which are coming in newspaper economic.
Definitely, you can use it, but once again, pattern of providing the credit to it. Use it. You give the credits.
And one more question is that actually a slightly confusing question. For my paper publication, I have shared once or twice my original work on mail to my guide also. So is there any risk in that? Because we work on a very high level of trust. My guide I have to trust completely.
The guide, definitely it's all trust, and we have a respect to our guide, and guide is having a faith on ourselves only. So we do not expect anything which is to be leaked from there. Any information available to the public domain may be leaked.
Yeah, so I just wanted to know that that is something which is okay. There is no risk there, right?
Obviously, sir, we must have a faith on the guide. Otherwise, how we can work?
I'm 100% sure, but I'm still asking. Okay, thank you.
Yes, no issues.
I wanted to ask one thing. You said about your own written papers. That supposing now for thesis we have already published some paper or presented in a conference.
Yes.
So when since these have already been run through that anti-plagiarism software, so when we are giving our thesis for this for running with the anti-plagiarism software, so that time we have to give both the papers, or these are own papers, so these may be excluded, which have already been.
Definitely.
Even the conference paper also.
Actually, see what is happening nowadays. Whatever you publish, they are freely and easily available on the electronic media. Means resources. Whatever we publish, they comes in the form of DOI. Please listen to me first. So that has been easily available. Now suppose if you have gone through a printed journal and which is having a very limited circulation, maybe 500 copies, so it may not be reachable to anyone else. So such type of information is not available on the website or any of the electronic source.
Correct.
In that case, it will not be identified. But just for example, your paper, that journal, I have quoted somewhere else and it has been taken care, then it will come under the software identification. So whatever you do, but you need to provide the source for your work also equally. Yes, someone was asking something.
Sir, I was just requesting for all the participants that if they keep themselves mum for a period of 1 hour and then they can ask their questions. So it would be quite easy for us to understand what the link
Yeah.
we are going through.
That is also my request. Okay.
Sir, because everybody are speaking their questions in between and what you are saying, that is being listed to us in our mind, and everybody asking their own questions. We are getting diverted from all of these.
Very nice. True. So let me continue. I am having almost at 50% of my work. Now, this is an artistic plagiarism. This is a sentence you see. It is in the inverted comma.
Yes,
It is
sir.
quoted by some person. So this is artistic plagiarism. So what it states, that is the violation of the copyright. If you have not taken the permission, then it comes under the category of the artistic plagiarism. Here are the 2 images. Again, I have declared it is subject to be copyright property. I have not applied for the source for copying the image because it is for academic purpose. So without taking up this image, it comes under the category of plagiarism. This is a source. So ultimately, artistic plagiarism is an intellectual property right to an individual. It is of individual which may include music, images, written words, text, video, medias, thoughts. Even you can get your thoughts also copyrighted. Your voice, just like sometime I came to know that the voice of Amitabh Bachchan, the great legend, is been copyrighted. I don't know, but if somebody go for the mimicrizes the voice, then it comes under the category of plagiarism. Although Sudesh Bhosle was been popularized by only using his voice, just mimicking his voice. So anyhow, but he earned money a lot. So without permission, you should not do it out. Without written permission of the owner, reproducing someone else's idea is the content is a part of the copyright violation of the Copyright Act. Most common examples, just like copying the writing music industry. Many of the songs which you people used to listen in Hindi, basically ideas have been copyrighted from somewhere in the foreign countries. Many of them. I'm not going to describe or talk about any one of it. So most of the things come from some English music or some from European or some from the African countries. So that is against the violation of the copyright. But unless and until the original source does not claim, you can use it out. But once it has been claimed, then definitely you need to go for the compensation. So it's better rather than copying it out, we must get the approval from it. For more details about the Copyright Act, I am providing you the source, and this you can even note down or take the screenshot. So for the greater information related to your copyright, patents, trademarks, you can get this information from here, copyright.gov.in. Due to time constraint, I am not getting into the website of it, but you please. And for the details, you can go through this handbook. Next. When does a writer need to cite? What are the conditions? Whenever a writer uses quotes of others, they need to cite. So once again, simply putting the quotes in the inverted comma itself is not sufficient. You need to provide the author's name. And 100% it should be detailed in the form of referencing. Whenever a writer paraphrases, what normally we are working upon this only paraphrasing, but even the paraphrasing requires the citations. I hope you know the difference between the citation and references. Anything which has been referred within the work, your own work, that is within the text, that reference is considered as a citation. And when we detailed about that citation, it comes under the category of bibliography or the references. Whenever the writer use ideas that someone else has already expressed, again comes into that category. Whenever writer makes a specific reference to the work of another, and whenever someone else's work has been critical in developing writer's own idea, in that case also we need to cite. Now, most of you people may be in the phase of your doctorate work or maybe some research paper writing, just for the sake of learning. Whenever you want to take some course or the sentence, you please write a mail to the original source. Ask for the permission. And 90% I'm sure that the author is going to refuse to permit you to copy his material or to cite his material, his or her material. Now, basically, they have researched on that particular lot. They've invested the huge time and money. So they may expect that you should pay a price for it, and then only you are permitted to copy the material. But try. It will be a learning to you. And if you get the approval from that original source of author, yes, it's to be very nice. 2-3 of my research papers, I have just gone through, still in the research gate. There are few pendencies coming upon. They have asked for the permission to me, and due to time factor, I am not having sufficient time, so I am unable to provide the approval. But it's freely available, so I want it should be helpful to the community. So I will provide the approval to them. Okay, you can carry it out. Now, what should be the level of plagiarism? As per the UGC standards or any other website or any other research journals, they have their own standards. The level 0, that means when the similarity level is up to 10%, between 0 to 10%, it considered as the minor similarities. And as per UGC norms, if your work is 10%, where your plagiarism is below 10%, it is approved. So try to reduce up to 5 to 7%. And when you run the software, it will be automatically from 5 to 7% will be increased to 10%. But if it is above 10%, your work will be returned and you will be expected to revise it, rephrase it, rewrite it, and resubmit. But what is the problem? I told you, if you have gone through some of the standard softwares, after making the corrections, if you rerun those your paper, it will be 100% plagiarized. Unless and until your earlier report is been removed from the server. So there is a specific process. Sometimes it is tedious. So it all depends how comfortable and how much time you spare for it. Level 1 is similarity level is between 10 to 40%. International standards hai. Level 2 similarity is above 40 to 60%, and level 3 similarity is above 60%. Now, in most of the cases, if the similarity level is above 40%, your paper has been written or rejected, and you may be asked to either rewrite the whole of the paper or you can submit somewhere else after making the improving itself. Some standard journals do not re-accept those paper. Even if you have tried to reduce and resubmit it, they will not accept that paper. So please take care. If you are submitting some some of the international standard journals, work properly and just keep your work reduced to less than 10%, rather than getting your work back. So if your work similarity range, that is the plagiarism rate, is below 10%, normally there is no penalty. Penalty is not in the financial terms, but in other terms. But if it is 10 to 40%, they will be asked to submit a revised script within a stipulated time and not exceeding 6 months. These are the international standards. If similarity is between 40 to 60%, researcher will be debarred from submitting a revised script for the period of 1 year. So see how tough it is. 40% is too high. And if it is above 60%, registration for that program shall be cancelled. So be aware that your work, try to write it many of the times, check it, correct it, write it, correct, check, do it number of times. And this is how you can reduce the level of plagiarism. Okay. What are the steps involved in avoiding the plagiarism? Keeping track of the sources you consult in your research. Now, what you do, or I hope you all try to do in the same manner, similar manner. Once you go through some of the paper, you have downloaded that paper in your data bank. At the same time, copy and paste the resource also in a Word file so that it will be a ready reckoner for your referencing when you are using some of the contents in your own paper. Otherwise, just for the citation or referencing purpose, you need to once again search, you need to Google it, go to the site, find out the details, and then rewrite it. So it's better you rank them, whatever you want to do. This is in the raw format, but you please copy that link and keep it with you. It will be helpful to use number of times, multiple times in your research work. So this is what keeping the track of sources you are doing in your research. Paraphrasing or quoting from your sources and adding your own ideas. Once again, I'm repeating number of times. Paraphrasing itself is not a conclusive proof of anti-plagiarism. It comes under the plagiarism category, but it should be rephrased in your own words. And the best is converting the sentence into the past tense. It all depends. This is only the standard statements I'm giving you. Crediting the original author in the in-text citation and in your references. Both of the way, you need to go provide the credit to the author in citation in the in-text material and at the end of the paper in the form of reference. Use plagiarism checker before you submit the article. Do not buy online research papers. Avoid using it. There may be no guarantee unless and until you purchase from a reputed source elsewhere, or maybe some of the Scopus-based papers or any other good quality journals are there, Emeralds and all these things. So it is good sources, but other than that, you be aware. Go through the publisher's guidelines. Now, suppose if you are accessing some research journal where you need to submit your paper, just read carefully what are the statements they have asked to be fulfilled. Definitely, nowadays, there is a self-declaration form which indicates and declares that whatever the work, it has been of your own work and you yourself are responsible for submitting. If it comes under the plagiarism category, the publisher is not responsible for it. This is the responsibility of the submitter or the article. Check 3 times or many times before making the final submission of the paper. So these are some of the good things you must remember. And these are the few small text I'm putting over here. I hope you can see it out on your screen. That is right from the scratch. Have your own thoughts. Have your own feelings. I assure you that once you start writing, you will get a better idea, and rather than copying those material, you can much write better in your own words. Some of the times due to laziness, I also try to, just go through the plagiarism software and rephrase it, but I am never satisfied. I stopped using those rephrasing. It's better I write in my own words because I need to rephrase the literature review. We cannot copy and paste simply. Use quotations, paraphrase, provide complete citations. No, you must also know that when to cite and where to cite. Keep tab on sources. Find out what are. You must be very clear that if we are committing an error, which type of plagiarism we are at. Use the plagiarism software tools and seek advice from the publishers or the references. Referencing sites provide their own ideas. Even if you are uncomfortable, you simply send a mail to that journal. We are facing such type of difficulty. Please help us out. Definitely, the good journal, the publishers, they will help you a lot in that case. I do understand there will be certain questions on this particular point, but we will discuss later.
Sir, one question, if I may ask.
Okay.
Just quickly. In case of desk rejections, what should be the approach?
Can you repeat?
In case of desk rejections,
Desk rejection, you are saying?
Yeah, in case of desk rejection, what should be the next step or approach?
Ultimately, so sir, we need to go through the paper once again just and identify the level of plagiarism it has been there. Okay. It should be not at that level. So it's better you recheck number of times before submitting your paper. No? So there should be no, at least the paper should not be written back due to plagiarism. There may be some another issues, but otherwise it should not be written. I hope I'm able to answer. Otherwise, we'll discuss later.
Yes, yes, thank you.
So the following may be excluded at the time of performing the plagiarism check. You can use such type of tools. It is only the standard mode, not exactly always to be followed. You can avoid quotes, bibliography, phrases, small match up to 10 words, mathematical formulas. Definitely, it will be come under the plagiarism category. Then standard softwares, anti-plagiarism softwares provide you the facility to check and uncheck. So there you can uncheck all of this information. That means this should not come under the category of plagiarism, and then they will run the software. Scientific laws, name of the institutions, departments, then small similarity less than 1% and doesn't come under this category. Then audio and videos, there are limitations that up to 30 seconds of audio clips are permissible and 20 seconds up to video clips are permissible. Many of the times you have seen in the teleserials, they use some song and that you just calculate the time. Most of the time it is less than 20 seconds. Because they need to take the approval. And if it crosses about 20 seconds, it is expected that they have taken the approval from the original source. Similarly, when we are hearing songs on the radios, various FM channels, so definitely they have taken the approval. Now, what I have learned, and normally I used to, when I'm driving, I used to keep my radio on, FM on. So, a song which has been played almost for a month, it has been played somewhat more or less at the same time. Means 2 to 3 times that song is been played, and at least for 1 month. What I learned, they have taken the approval. They definitely need to pay some amount, and they have taken the approval for 30 days. After 30 days, either they do not repay the sound, or they may again need to pay the amount for it. So these are the limitations. Then okay, these are some hands-on session. This is the plagiarized content once again. I have taken some quotes from some resource paper, and I have put it over here. Now let me once again proceed. Rather going for the live demonstration, I have already done upon it. I run the software. You can see the name of the software. Two I have already opened. It is Dupli Checker, Plagiarism Checker. Many of them are available. So I run that software. This was the content. And again, it is 100% plagiarized. Because I have exactly copied. This is the source. From where I have taken up this. This is the software providing us this facility. Actually, I have copied this material from this link. Or maybe from here. So it is 100% plagiarized. So here you can check by yourself that your work has been plagiarized and up to what level it has been plagiarized. So we can make a considerable improvement. So what I did.
Can you please provide the name because it's not
I will.
suitable.
It is in the way further slides that you will have. Many of them are there.
Sir, put up into chat box.
You will see
So
it on the
people can copy
screen.
it.
Then you can take the screenshot. That will be available to you. So what I did, I tried to act smart. I used the same paraphrasing tool. They all are providing this facility. And you can see it in multiple colors. The sentence was been rephrased by that software, whatever the software I've used. Now, if you go through the original content, you see just 1 or 2 lines. I'm reading it for you people. Stock market fluctuation is based on news. Stock market fluctuation is predicted on news. The news related to economic, political, weather condition, relationship between the countries could impact on stock market fluctuation. The news that it is said to the economy, weather, etc., may impact on the stock exchange fluctuations. So here, what the problem I am facing, because what actually I want to communicate, it is not exactly rephrased. So if you feel comfortable, you can use the software, you can rephrase it. But let me assure you once again, if you use this rephrased words, it may once again comes under the category of the plagiarism. So rephrasing, particularly now, I avoid and I do not suggest it. But yes, if you wish, you can go through that. Anyhow,
So it is better to write in your own words. For example,
yeah, though I
can
always
you take
recommend understanding. So what I did,
previous slides?
sir, that I rephrased because I use the same software to rephrase. I once again run that rephrase software, rephrase content, and you see that here is now 0% plagiarism and it is 100% unique. So simply rephrasing by the software, you make your work 100% unique, but that was to a particular software. It may be plagiarized, found plagiarized in some another software. I can't claim. But anyhow, it has been 100% unique. If you are satisfied, you can use those contents. If you are not satisfied, it's better you write in your own words. So this is how the softwares help you in rephrasing the work. Steps in reducing plagiarized contents. What you should do. Check the flow of your paper. I'm just due to time constraint, I'm speeding up. Check and correct grammatical mistakes by using distinct softwares. You can use various softwares. Grammatical, I can suggest one. There is a Grammarly. It is one of the good software. Then there are many softwares available which provides the grammatical assistance. MS Word have its own facility. There are few free softwares, and once you are deeply involved in research writing or maybe the this letter drafting and all of these things, my suggestion, you go with a paid one. It will be a costly, but it will be helpful for one whole of the year. Then run plagiarism softwares licensed or freeware as per availability and choice. Identify the level of plagiarized content. These are the steps we need to find out. If it is below 10%, it's well and good. If it is above, you need to reduce up to 10%. Use various paraphrasing tools to rephrase the sentence. Then insert citations. Whatever you have done, you have redrafted, but then too you need to cite that work, that sentence. Generate report and preserve it for future references. Okay, this is I've done, and this is the present report status has been coming up on. The software provides the report at the same time. That is, instant reports are generated. Rerun the modified contents. Again, you rewrite it. Again, follow the same steps. Then read the final draft carefully. And finally, if you are satisfied, be ready for the submission. So these are the basic steps you need to focus just before submitting your paper. Once you submitted, what we need to do, that is submit the declaration form. Nowadays, it's mandatory. You need to mandatory submit, fill the declaration form. Either you may to get the soft copy print and then write and then upload it, or few softwares, few journals, they might provide you the online facility. But there, they expect the digital signature. And I do not suggest to put your digital signature in such type of cases, because ultimately it is a very, very important document. Submit the certificate of originality. You can simply, while submitting the paper, you yourself can draft and send a statement along with the mail that we certify that the paper, to our best of our knowledge, is been worked as the original, and we have credited the sources from where the information has been taken upon. This certificate is an important source for your originality. Submit the plagiarism report. If they ask about it, yes, please try to submit it. You need to get it downloaded, otherwise they do it by yourself, themselves. Submit the authority form and other required documents. What I quoted, just like in SSRN, I have submitted my published paper, but they have asked me to provide the co-author's acceptance also. So definitely earlier it was not been there. So some issues may be coming upon, and that's why they are asking. Now, then the next slide, you can go through the various softwares. You can take the screenshots. No claim, nothing, because they all are free available softwares. You try to use as per your own risk. Particularly, personally, if I say, I normally consider plagiarism checker, duplicate checker. What you can also do, you can run the same content in 3 or 4 type of softwares and just check out which software is providing you the maximum plagiarize level. It is when definitely where the software which is having a more database, the more plagiarism will define. So in that case, you just try to go through it. Second, just before putting your text, see, there is one more thing. There is a limitation of 750 or 1000 words. These are the free softwares. So maximum 1000 words you need to copy paste. Then you need to run the software. They will publish the report. If it is above 10%, you rewrite, redraft there itself. Again rerun. Yes. Then please put your speaker off, please. These are the few softwares: copy leak, paper return, plagiarism checker, plagam, plagiscan, plagtaker, and this is the recommended by the UGC Urkund. So submit over here at the final stage for the final work. Particularly for the thesis work, you need to go with this only. I hope you have taken the screenshot of this. Otherwise,
Sir,
you
can
can.
you please suggest the
Yeah.
hello?
Yes, please
Sir, can
continue.
you please suggest the that tool which we covered earlier? They are asking to full paper plagiarism report.
In that case, you need to go with the licensed software only. These are the providers. They provide the license facility, but you need to purchase it. And it depends upon for a week, maybe 15 days, 1 month, or for a year. So please use the licensed software. If you are not having, then your might be institute is having, your university might be having, your any other person, maybe it's some another person who is conducting PhD and they have taken that license. So in that case, you should access that one.
Okay.
Okay. These are the some grammar checker tools. I've used almost all of them. Grammarly, Quillboard is also providing anti-plagiarism facilities. Then Ginger software is also good enough. Writer.com, it is global, internationally it is more popular. Then small e-tools, writer.com, grammar checker, etc. I think it is a repetition. So these are the some of the free grammar checker. You can simply log in with your email, so you will get more opportunity to correct them. And if you want the overall grammar correction, then you need to pay for the license fees. This is the third. Paraphrasing tools, Quillbot is doing good. Then paraphraseronline.com, Spinner Chef 6, paraphrases.com, and many of them are easily available. So there is to rephrase. But the only thing, your data, whatever your content has been there, it has been saved by their database. Normally it doesn't happen, but we cannot rely that they can use or reuse our own data. So it all depends upon your own wish. Now next thing. The next problem comes, that is how to cite it and how to reference. So MS already provide this facility. In MS Word, you can go to the citation style, referencing style. Then you need to select the which type of citation tool you want to use. It may be like Harvard style, APA, MLA, or any other style. And you can define the whole of the things, and that MS Word will prepare the citation or reference for yourself. If not so, here you need to provide the complete details. This is very popular, Mendeley. I've used almost all of them. So Mendeley is very popular, and initially you need to submit the complete details, and then you simply run that program, and they will provide you the citation as per your specified style. So here you can save the time. There is no harm in using the citation tools, because manually doing is a very troublesome and very time consuming. But once again, I believe on myself. I used to prepare the references in to my own style, in my own way. Whatever time is required, I'm ready to spare, but I do it by myself. So these are some of the right citation and reference tools. These are some of the resources. So ultimately, it's a moral duty being academician and to pass over to our students, to our society. Plagiarism is one of the biggest challenge in academia, and we should try to overcome such type of problem so that we can make the education world to be good enough. There is a quote over here that yesterday I was a clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am a wise, so I am changing myself. And that is very correctly said. It's better to change ourselves rather than changing the world, because world will move in its own way. You can be an influencer, but you cannot change the world. So this is all from my side. Sorry. This is my email. You can put your queries over here in case in near future also we are also having one additional session, another session. At that time also you can put your queries. So once again, thanks to all of you. Please come up with your queries.
Sir, good evening, sir. I just have one query, sir. Which is the best purchase it?
Ma'am, definitely once you purchase it, that provides a more authenticity. Urkund and these are the tools which has been highly recommended and used by the universities. So it provides the perfect information.
Right,
Database,
sir.
but
Thank
they
you.
are very costly.
Right.
3.5 lakhs and
Sir,
plus something like that is a cost. Normally we can't purchase.
okay.
Even any of the
So, sir,
institutes
then
can't purchase it.
the
So ultimately we need to rely upon some free softwares only.
okay, sir.
Hello,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you,
Am I
sir.
audible?
Yes, please.
Sir, good
Sir,
evening, sir.
Yeah, please. Good evening.
Sir, whatever softwares you have mentioned, apart from that, styles of referencing, Vancouver styles is most accepted, sir.
Sir, it all depends. Which area you belongs to particularly? मतलब your work specialization area. Is it in which
Uh, Sir,
you belong?
in Master of Dental Surgery, sir.
Okay. I have not gone through that because my area is management and that. So it all depends, sir. Medical may be accepting that venture style. Just like in management, internationally we go, Harvard is more popular. And in India, particularly APA, American Psychological Association, and for literature work, MLA is more popular. So it all depends.
Okay.
Except finally we need to go through the general guidelines only.
Okay. So that is valid over medical also and over your general.
Yes, sir. As such, there is no limitation. Whatever you feel free. Actually, each and every publisher, they provides the specific style of citation and referencing. So we need to strictly follow. Even them may not be possible that they go through Vancouver or any other. They have their own style. So we need to follow that style.
And sir, and suppose, sir, we are publishing a paper with using some of the software for plagiarism. For checking all the plagiarism, and after that I am submitting a paper, then does that journal will accept that plagiarism or not?
Usually they do not accept unless and until it is a very reputed one. Basically, they used to run their software and then they determine the level of plagiarism. Definitely, if it is above the limit, they will revert back to you. They will mail to you that please make the necessary correction along with the report they are going to sending to you. So in that case, you may request, or earlier you may request which software they are using. So if it is freely available on the website, you can directly run. But not in Indian publishers. Normally, such type of facilities are very limited. But if you go
Yes,
through
sir.
with international, in European and American particularly, you will find all of these things online. Sorry, on
Okay.
website.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, how to write citation? For example, if we are referring newspapers and news portal nowadays, online news portals are there. If you want to refer that in our paper, how to write citation?
There are the very specific styles to be used. I will show it tomorrow. At least there are many slides. Just in next initial 5-10 minutes, I will provide you. Actually, I told you that my laptop is not functioning and I'm using daughter's laptop. It is not over in this system. Otherwise, I would have shown you.
I have another question, sir. For example, I'm new to research. For example, if I'm reading a research paper for my review of literature, in the that particular paper, if I got something that I need to be refer in my paper, but which I should cite the original author, or I'm the research paper I'm referring to, whom I cite
There are two
for
things.
my ROLs.
You can cite in any other, doesn't matter. It may be the referred paper or not. The basic difference between referencing is bibliography. Once you have gone through the X paper and you have taken the content, you are referring at the content of X author, then it comes as a part of referencing. Now X have referred A, B, C, D, E, F, and many more, and you are taking that content of ABCD from X paper, then it comes under the category of citation. That is in the bibliography. I'm sorry. So citation is common in both of the ways. You can quote the statement, you can take the statement, you need to refer that statement from which authors it has been taken in text. But at the end, you will provide the complete details about it. But it will come in the form of bibliography. Another thing, there is always a big confusion because some of the genres they define in the form of references, some genres they define in the form of bibliography. So that doesn't make any differences. You simply, whatever you have gone through the source, please quote them. The complete detail about the other authors must be provided in your own work. It is
Hello.
expected. Yes.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, please tell about the cross references.
It is just like what I am talking is about. It is a work you have taken from another, some of the another paper, you have taken that work. That comes under the category of cross references.
Okay, sir.
You need to cite it. Hello?
Hello.
Are you getting?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir. On the question of this cross-referencing only, like supposing I am a finance person, I'll be quoting some RBI circulars. Supposing in a 2023 circular, some circular of 2015 is quoted. So, how should I quote it in insight or in the referencing portion? Inside taxation or
There are
the end?
two things. In that case, it can be in the form of footnotes. If it is that quotation is not very important, then that must come in the form of footnote. And if it is, you assume that that text is very important, then it must come in the form of referencing. But it must provide the complete detail, circular number, date of publication of that circular, then the source of information, complete. Either it may be in the form of printed booklet or maybe in the form of web resources. And if you use the web resources, please mention the date of referencing. That is to be known as retrieved on or accessed on. Suppose you are taking that content from web today, so you need to provide that accessed on 24th August 2023. If it is very fluctuating, then please mention the time also. Otherwise, not.
One thing more, like supposing I'm inside in the text, I'm quoting some data. So is it sufficient to write RBI database or how it is to be cited?
See, once it is been presented in the tabular form or graphical form, you can directly copy, paste, and at the just after the table or the graph, you mention like a source, and the source is just like www.rbi.org, like that. And the detail, but detail about that source will be in the form of referencing. Again, two things. You are free. One can be the web resources and second can be the normal resources from journals and magazines and other articles.
Mhm.
So if you are using many of the web resources, then you bifurcate into two broad categories. If you are using limited of the web resources, then it should be in the alphabetical, that is the alphabetical order, A, B, C, D.
Mhm. Right, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
well,
Sir,
yes,
good
anyone?
evening.
Sir,
Yes,
sir, how
sir.
to
One
submit the
last thing I
certificate of
have.
originality, sir?
Anyone, please?
Sir, how to submit the certificate of originality? Do we require the ethical committee clearance or what do we require?
See, normally they only see it is a declaration provided by them. Some of the times online declaration. Otherwise, they have a format on the site. You need to copy it down. You need to get the print, fill it up, and again reload and submit in the form of scanned document. This is normally the certificate of originality. Second thing, if you have scanned by using some licensed software, and if you wish, you can also provide the report along with that. But usually, it is not report is not been demanded, but only a declaration is demanded. Actually, what is problem now? I hope you might be knowing it. Whatever the work has been submitted to them, actually it becomes their property. They already, once you are submitting the work, they used to transfer the copyright from ourselves to themselves. If you do not want to transfer, you can simply refuse it. We are not ready to transfer our ownership to you. Normally, we permit because we want to get our work published. But if it is very confidential,
No, sir.
very
No, sir.
creative, then you can refuse them.
No, sir. But unless and until we get the approval from the ethical committee, we cannot move forward. Once we get the approval,
I
that
told you
time
that
only make this
you,
article or whatever.
I
Yes,
hope
sir.
that you have already run the software. You are satisfied with the work with you have just gone through that software. If not so, then you are running
Yeah,
through
yeah,
some
yeah.
licensed software. The report will be provided by the site. Even this all, whatever you are seeing it on the screen presently, they all provide the reports. You can simply you can download that report and you can submit. But actually what has been there, these reports have no validity. They may refuse unless and until you are subscribed to it. This doesn't make any differences. So you pay the subscription and then the report will be authenticated. So that makes the difference over here.
Okay.
Okay. So definitely
Means
if you provide,
authentication is required,
the
sir.
report, yeah, it will create a weightage to your own work.
Okay.
Sir, just to
Yes.
one question I have, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Just to follow on that references and bibliography, you said that we need to cite, for example, let's say I'm referring paper X of Mr. X. We need to also cite the references or mention the authors or papers which X has also referred to. Is that right, sir?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, but if that happens, will it not go like a chain reaction, sir? Because that X would have, or that ABCD would have referred some other ABCDs, and will it not go like a chain
No,
reaction,
no,
sir?
that doesn't. That is a good thing, no, sir. And definitely it is helpful. Actually, we are expanding their own work, which has been referred by them. So
Okay.
it will automatically near future, just like if you go to the Google Scholar or any other site, even the ResearchGate and anything. So they will automatically catch those citations. And this will be a credit to the original author. Okay, fine, this work has been cited. Now I will just let me quote you the same paper mutual fund I was just referring day before yesterday. So one of my paper, it was been cited 47 times. But I haven't received a single mail from that Google Scholar. But yes, that was been 47 times cited. So it is a proud feeling for me. Okay, 47 people have at least gone through my statement. Not maybe the paper, but at least 47 statements people have read it. So it provides the credit. It automatically improves my H score and I score and all of these things.
Okay, but what is the limit that, okay, for example, let's say we can stop particularly, let's say, is there any restrictions or any
No, nothing
references
like
that
that,
we
sir.
can stop?
Nothing like that. If you are going with a review paper, sir, at least there is 100, more than 100 papers have been reviewed. And if you
Yes.
think that this statement requires those clarification, those contents, yes, you can quote.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not presently having in this PPT. Otherwise,
Okay.
in a single sentence, 4 to 5 citations I always quote it. Now, ethically, it is expected that you should rephrase it. Ethically, it is expected. Otherwise, definitely. But even if you are not doing it, doesn't matter. What you can do, just in case of similar content, just like Dr. A has talked upon XYZ, and the similar work has been found by A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and all this. You can quote it like this. So this can be done.
Okay.
It's all your choice.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot.
Writing a good quality research paper requires minimum 6 months. I'm not talking about the medical and that requires many years to develop a one tool. But at least for if we talk about the humanities, at least 6 months requires a good quality paper.
So let's say, for example, if our universities are posing some targets, like being an assistant professor, you need to have 5 to 6 papers. Associate should have 6 to 8 papers, and so on. What can you suggest here, sir?
Go with the joint paper.
Okay.
That is the one of the best tool. At least
Okay.
this said, yeah, it will provide a credit to you. No doubt the co-author may get less weightage, but yes, it is permissible, so there is no issues. 2 authors, maybe 3 authors, but not more than 3. It then reduce the importance of the paper.
But then the co-author should be from other universities at least, right?
Nothing like that. Here is no such limitation. I don't know university is having such limitation, but I don't think so. That doesn't.
I think the university or which I'm working on has some limitations, like only one can claim the authorship, and
You need to check from there itself by their policies, whatever they are following. And if it is good, if they are having, because it creates the genuineness of the paper. Na? Otherwise, just like we 3 are colleagues. So in one paper, I am first author, in second, her, and third paper, someone else is author. It's a good thing.
Okay, then.
At least some real research comes upon.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Anyone else?
Okay, so shall we conclude the session?
Yes, ma'am. As per the.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for this thoughtful and elaborative session on plagiarism. We are really thankful to you for giving your precious and valuable time to guide all of us. And thank you all the participants also to being a very patient and
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Thank you so much to all of you once again.
Thank you so much,
Hello,
sir.
Nimita, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Can I just request one thing? Is it
Madam,
possible?
can you just give me the mail ID or WhatsApp the mail ID of sirs?
I've shown you my email ID.
Okay, sir.
Please, just 1 second. This is my email.
Sir,
Okay.
in the starting, you were mentioning some a few platforms where we can publish the research paper. Can you repeat it again? I just missed it.
Platforms. Nothing specific I've talked upon. It all depends upon your area of interest. Nowadays, only the online journals are more fancy because the approach is to the maximum readers. So you can go through that. And if you want to go with the printed, then again there is the limitations. But yes, printed is always to be considered as the one of the best till date. So online platform is more easier and more friendly and more approachable. Nothing like that. But just please go through go through the authenticity of the journal, because there are many fake journals are available. So you can just check it
Sir,
through.
how can we check the? Sir, how we
There
can
is a
check the
UGC CARE 1
authenticity of
and
the
2 list
journal?
available on the website of UGC. UGC 1, CARE 1, UGC CARE 2 list are there. You can go through that. Then Scopus is there. You can check it through that. You will find. Elsewhere has been there. There are some publishers which provide this list of the journals. You can check that ISSN
In the
number.
list,
Pardon?
sir, Scopus also have a list of journals.
Definitely. All Scopus effort papers, they have been posted over there, and it has been continuously updated. Might be possible that yes, yeah, last year you published your paper in that journal. Presently, it may not be there, but at that time it was there, so it will be considered as a scopus publication or UGC care. Okay, should we put to the end of the session now?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I just wanted to request the organizers if it is possible to organize a session on referencing using Mendeley software.
Okay, your request I will put forward to the higher authorities. We'll try to get it not in the present this present workshop, but we can arrange a 1 day separate workshop on it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. I will put your request.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone. I'm putting off to the session.